Okay, so you're ready for Douala.
Sounds like an adventure.
It really is. Now, Douala is one of those places that sometimes just ends up being a quick stop on the way to someplace else, a layover city.
I see what you mean.
But we're here to tell you, Douala is so much more than just a place you pass through. This is where the heart of Cameroon beats.
Yeah, it's got this energy, this pulse that's really captivating.
It's a fascinating blend of, modern life, but with these really deep traditions woven throughout.
It's like where the energy of the Atlantic meets the heart of Cameroon.
I love that. And speaking of fascinating, did you know that Cameroon has more than 250 languages spoken across the country?
Wow, 250. That's incredible. I had no idea there were that many.
It's mind-blowing, right? I mean, just imagine the linguistic diversity in a place like Douala. So tell me, what does that actually mean for a city, having all those languages intermingling?
Well, you're definitely going to hear French, since it's the official language, which is like a little echo of the colonial past.
Right.
But then, if you really listen closely, you'll start to pick up on the rhythm of Douala and Bassa as well.
And those are...
They're languages that go way back, like to the very roots of the land.
Wow.
It's actually really amazing. Those languages are how so many traditions are kept alive, even today, passed down through generations as the city keeps moving forward.
So you're saying that even with all this modern energy, the history is still very present?
Absolutely. It's like this tapestry of cultures woven together through language, and you can feel it all around you.
That's incredible. Okay, so let's say I'm convinced. I'm ready to experience this tapestry. How do I actually get around Douala and see everything it has to offer?
Well, Douala definitely has its own unique ways of getting you where you need to go, that's for sure. If you're up for an adventure, that is.
Bring on the adventure.
You've got your taxis, of course. Those are always around. But have you ever heard of a Ben skin?
A Ben skin? Okay, no. That's a new one for me. What in the world is a Ben skin?
So picture this. It's a motorcycle taxi, right? But usually it's all brightly painted, super colorful, and they're zipping through traffic, they're dodging, they're weaving, they're incredibly agile.
I can only imagine.
And they're called Ben skins because you really have to hold on tight, especially on those corners.
Oh, I bet.
But let me tell you, it's a thrilling, thrilling way to see the city. But if you want something a little less, adrenaline pumping.
Yeah, maybe a little less intense.
You can always just hire a car, which is probably a good idea, especially if you're thinking about going outside of the city.
Speaking of venturing out a little bit, I know there's that spot on the coast not too far from Douala. I think I've heard it's really beautiful. What was it called again? Limbe?
Limbe. Now, Limbe is something else. Imagine this. You leave the city behind, right? All the hustle and bustle, and then suddenly the landscape just opens up to the coast. The Atlantic coast.
Oh, wow.
Palm trees swaying in the breeze, that smell of salty air, beaches that go on forever, black volcanic sand, too. Breathtaking, really.
I'm getting this picture in my head, and it already sounds amazing. And what about that wildlife center in Limbe? I think I read something about that. What's so special about it?
Oh, yeah. The Limbe Wildlife Center. It's not your typical zoo, not at all. This is more like a sanctuary.
Oh.
Yeah, it's for rescued primates, mainly.
Yeah.
A lot of them were victims of the illegal pet trade, actually. So when you go to the Limbe Wildlife Center, you're not just observing animals, you're seeing this really powerful commitment to conservation in action.
I can get behind that. So what kind of animals are we talking here?
You name it. Gorillas, chimpanzees, drills.
Wow, drills. I've never even heard of a drill.
They're incredible creatures. And the best part is, it's all right there, just a short trip from Douala.
So you could be experiencing the city in the morning, and then by the afternoon, you're face-to-face with a gorilla.
Exactly. That's the beauty of having Douala as your base. You're right in the middle of it all, which makes it the perfect starting point to explore everything Cameroon has to offer, all those diverse landscapes and cultures right at your fingertips.
Okay, you've got me thinking about exploring all those landscapes and cultures now. And you know what always comes to mind when I think about experiencing a new place? The food, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Food is like a window into the soul of a culture.
It really is. And I've heard whispers about this dish called indole. What's the story there? I'm ready for a culinary adventure.
Indole? Well, indole is. It's more than just a dish. It's an experience,
Okay, I like the sound of that already. You've got to give me the details.
So imagine this. You've got tender beef or fish simmered in this incredibly rich, earthy sauce.
Okay, so far so good. What's in this sauce? What makes it so special?
The key ingredient is something called bitter leaf. It's this green leafy vegetable, a total staple in Cameroonian cuisine.
Bitter leaf. That sounds a little, well, bitter for my taste buds.
I know, right? The name doesn't lie. It's got this unique flavor profile, slightly bitter, yeah,
Yeah.
but also kind of smoky at the same time. And it's all balanced out by this richness from peanuts and spices.
Okay, you're making it sound better and better. But what's the cultural significance behind it? I mean, it sounds like bitter leaf is more than just an ingredient.
Oh, absolutely. Bitter leaf is deeply connected to Cameroonian culture. It's used in traditional medicine. And the preparation process, like washing it, pounding it, it often becomes a communal activity.
So it's bringing people together even before it gets to the plate. I like that.
Yeah, and there's that saying, bitter leaf makes the food sweet.
Never heard that one before.
Well, it reflects how it actually enhances the other flavors in the dish. It's all about balance, you see.
That's really interesting. It sounds like it represents a lot more than just a simple ingredient.
Exactly. And, that idea of community, that shared experience, it's something you'll find everywhere in Douala, especially in the local markets.
Oh, yeah, those markets. I've heard there's something else. I definitely want to check them out. Which ones should I add to my list?
Oh, you can't miss Marché Sandaga or Marché Congo. Just imagine. You walk in, and it's a maze of stalls, all overflowing with colorful fabrics, spices that fill the air with the most amazing aromas.
Oh, I bet. I can practically smell it now.
And the sounds. The vendors calling out, people bargaining. It's a whole experience. You can find anything there, seriously. Intricately carved masks, fresh produce, you name it. The energy is incredible.
It sounds like a whirlwind for the senses.
It really is. And, don't be shy about haggling a bit. It's part of the experience, a way to connect with the vendors,
Haggling, huh? I'm not always the best at that, but I'm always up for trying new things. Any tips for a haggling newbie like me?
Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Start by offering maybe half of what they're asking, and then go from there. It's all a friendly back and forth.
Okay, good to know. I'm ready to put my haggling skills to the test. Now, while we're on the topic of experiencing the local culture, we have to talk about dual art. I am so intrigued by this.
Dual art. Now that's a testament to the creative spirit you'll find in Douala.
It's been described as art that breathes life into the city, which I think is a beautiful way to put it. What makes dual art so unique? What sets it apart?
Well, the thing is, dual art isn't confined to a museum. It's not stuck behind walls.
Right, it's more dynamic than that, right?
Exactly. It spills out onto the streets. It transforms everyday spaces, ordinary places, into these really thought-provoking installations. You might stumble upon a sculpture made entirely from recycled materials, making a statement about consumerism, or you could be walking through an old abandoned building that's been turned into this vibrant art space.
It's like the city itself becomes a canvas.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It's all about engaging with social issues, celebrating African identity, and just pushing the boundaries of what we think art can be.
I love that. It's art with a purpose, a message. Okay, so we've got art that's bursting into the streets, food for the soul. What about the music scene? Because every great city needs a soundtrack, right? What can I expect to hear in Douala? What are the sounds of this vibrant city?
Get ready to move those feet, because Douala is the birthplace of Makossa.
Makossa. All right, tell me more.
So Makossa is this genre of music that was actually born in Douala. It's super high energy, infectious beats, soulful melodies, and the lyrics often speak to the Cameroonian experience. It's about life, love, the city.
It's really found its rhythm in the city then.
Yeah, exactly. And it's become a global sensation, by the way. You'll hear it everywhere in Douala.
So if I want to experience this Makossa magic firsthand, where do I need to go? Where's the music happening?
Head straight to St. John's Plaza. It's this lively square right in the heart of Douala. You'll find live music spilling out from the bars and cafes.
Sounds like my kind of place. I could totally see myself getting lost in the music there. But let's say, hypothetically, maybe I need a little break from all that energy. Is there someplace a little more low-key where I can unwind, maybe take in some different views?
Are you kidding? Of course. For a more laid-back vibe, head to Sky Bar Lounge.
Now you're speaking my language. Tell me more.
Okay, so imagine this. You're sipping on a delicious cocktail, the sun is setting, the sky is painted in these incredible colors.
Okay, I'm already relaxed just thinking about it.
The city lights are starting to twinkle below, and there's this gentle breeze. You can hear the sounds of Douala's nightlife coming alive down below. It's the perfect place to just unwind, reflect on your day,
It sounds absolutely magical. But you mentioned nightlife. I'm curious, what are the options if someone's looking to experience Douala after dark?
Oh, Douala has a fantastic nightlife scene. There's really something for everyone. If you're looking for something high energy with live music and dancing, you've got to check out Black and White. It's a local favorite, known for its eclectic music and its black and white decor, of course.
Black and white, I love it. Okay, so we've got Sky Bar Lounge for a more elegant, laid-back evening, and black and white for when you're ready to hit the dance floor. Douala After Dark sounds pretty tempting, I have to say. But before we get too caught up in all the excitement, I think we should probably make sure our listener is prepared for some of the practicalities of traveling to Douala, right? Wouldn't want them to be caught off guard by anything.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's easy to get swept up in all the excitement. We've been on this whirlwind tour of Douala, from like Benskins to bitter leaf and everything in between. But we should probably take a minute to talk about some of the practical
Yeah.
stuff, right? Like health, safety, that kind of thing.
Right, right. Because a little preparation goes a long way,
Yeah,
especially when you're traveling.
exactly. So what do we need to know?
Well, first things first, health and safety should always be top of mind.
Absolutely.
Make sure all your routine vaccinations are up to date.
Check. And it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor about malaria medication, just to be on the safe side.
Good advice. Better safe than sorry, right?
Exactly. And, while we're talking about being prepared, even though French is the official language,
Right, right.
don't underestimate the power of knowing even a few phrases in Douala or Bassa.
Oh, I bet that goes a long way. Like, what would be a good example?
Even just a simple bonjour, or merci, little things like that.
Right.
But in the local language, it shows respect.
Mm-hmm.
And it can really open doors to having more authentic interactions with people.
Yeah, those small gestures, they really can make a difference. It's about connecting with the culture on a deeper level for sure. Speaking of connecting, I'm remembering those vibrant markets we talked about earlier.
Oh, there's something else.
They sound incredible. Any advice for navigating those, especially for someone who, maybe isn't a seasoned haggling pro?
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Haggling, that's part of the experience. It's like this fun dance in those markets, this back and forth.
A dance, I like that.
Don't be afraid to get into it. Start low, like way lower than what you're actually willing to pay.
Oh, really? Okay,
And then
okay.
go from there.
Got it. So it's like a friendly negotiation then?
Exactly. And, it's a great way to snag some unique souvenirs to take home.
Oh, for sure. And speaking of souvenirs, what kind of treasures are we talking here? What can our listener expect to find in these markets?
You'll find everything. Beautifully crafted masks and sculptures, colorful fabrics, traditional clothing.
Wow.
And don't even get me started on the spices. Douala is a sensory overload in the best possible way.
It's like a feast for the eyes and the nose. It sounds incredible.
Okay, so we've got the markets for souvenirs. But for those moments when you need a break from the hustle and bustle, are there any other shopping options in Douala?
Definitely. If you're looking for a more modern shopping experience, head to the Aqua shopping district. You'll find more like boutiques, department stores. They even have some international brands there.
Oh, okay. So a little something for everyone then.
Exactly. That's Douala for you.
It really does sound like it has it all, from those lively markets and those Ben skins weaving through traffic to tranquil rooftop bars, spicy and dole, and those Makossa beats. It's a city that really seems to awaken the senses.
It's a place that stays with you long after you've left, that's for sure. It sparks your curiosity, challenges your perspectives. That's a great way to put it. Well, for our listener who's about to embark on their own Douala adventure, remember to keep your senses open and embrace every experience. What aspect of Douala are you most curious about? Think about that. Until next time, keep diving deep.